Just look around and tell me what you see or what impressions or sensations you get.
It's dusty, from like gravel.
So you're standing on the road?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a wide road or a narrow road?
It's wide.
Okay. And what do you see beyond the road?
Looks like just more road.
Okay. Look down below where your feet should be and tell me what you see on your feet.
Looks like a boot.
And what are you wearing on your body?
Long pants. And a long sleeve shirt.
And does this seem like a male body or a female body?
Like a male body.
Okay, young or old?
A little bit older.
Okay, healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you know why you're standing there?
I feel like I'm trying to get somewhere.
Okay. Are you traveling on foot?
Yes.
And is this a long journey?
Yes, because I can't see anything but the road.
Okay. And what does it feel like? Is it hot, cold, comfortable?
It's hot.
It's hot. Okay. So, when you said you're older, are you middle-aged?
Slightly less than middle age.
Okay. And your pants and your long sleeve shirt, what do they look like?
The pants are a little bit tougher, and the shirt feels lighter.
Okay. So I'd like you to just see if you are holding anything in your hands. Are you carrying anything?
No.
Okay. Does it seem like it's summertime?
Yes.
Okay. And if you look around yourself, you can just kind of turn around, look and see what's around you. Is there desert around you, sand? Is there grass, trees?
Looks like prairie.
And do you know where you're heading?
I don't know.
Do you know if there are any other people around you, or are you completely alone?
I'm alone.
And how do you feel right now? Are you comfortable going by yourself?
Yeah. I feel tired. Feels like there's still a long way to go.
So what I'd like you to do now is just again focus on my voice. I'll let it guide you. I'm going to count from 1 to 3. And on the count of 3, you're going to reach your destination. And so the images or feelings or sensations will just flood you, and you will know that you have reached your destination. 1, beginning to move there. 2, almost there. And 3, you have reached your destination. So tell me what you see around you.
I see a small town, a main street.
Are there houses on it?
No, mostly like what would be a business or a bar, a hotel.
Okay. Are there people that you see on the street?
No.
Okay. Do you know what time of the day it is? Is it very early or late?
It feels like it's midday.
Okay.
Almost noon.
Okay. And you're standing alone on the street?
Yes.
Do you know where everybody is?
No. It feels weird because there should be people there.
Okay, that's all right. They will come back into your reality when it's time. And so, do you know where you are?
Feels like I need to pick something up from there.
You came here to get something and then leave?
Yes.
All right. So I'd like you to allow yourself to just move to the place where you're going to pick something up. That's something that you came for. And again, on the count of 3, you'll be there. 1, 2, and 3, you're there. Where do you see yourself?
It's a store. It's small.
And what do you see there? What do they sell?
All types of different things. I feel like I'm there for seeds of some sort.
Okay. Now, do you see the owner of the store or somebody that will assist you?
I do not.
Just imagine that you're calling someone that will be assisting you from inside the store. You will see a person emerging. Do you see someone?
I do.
And who's that?
Like the shopkeeper.
Okay. Has he been expecting you? Or he doesn't know you?
I feel like he knows me, but didn't necessarily expect me.
Okay. So have you had business with him before?
Yes.
Okay, good. And what type of seeds did you come to get? And if you can't remember, just ask him.
I feel like it's corn.
Okay. Are you going to be planting them?
Yes.
Are they for your own farm?
Yes.
Okay. So does he have the corn seeds for you that you need?
Yes.
Very good. And once you get the seeds, does that complete your business, or are you going to pick up something else?
I feel like that was it.
Okay. And what do you do after that? Do you leave and start heading back?
Yes.
Very good. So I'd like you to imagine that you're back on that road. And as you're walking back, you're going to start remembering everything about your home and where you've come from. And I wonder if you can tell me about where you live and where you're going to plant the corn seeds.
It's a small house.
Okay? I'd like you to just imagine that you're standing in front of that house right now and describe to me what you see.
Wooden front porch, almost like a sod roof. And when looking at the house, I'd be planting to the right of it.
And do you know what you've planted?
The corn.
And how big is the house?
Looks like it's almost a one-room house.
Okay, so I'd like you to open the door and walk into the house. And tell me what you see inside.
See a small stove. It's wood burning. There's coffee on it. A bed in the back right corner. And a back door. Windows on the front. I feel like it's almost built into the side of a hill on the left-hand side of the house.
Okay. And so if you were to look at the cornfield, is it on the opposite side of the house from the hill?
Yes.
Okay, good. And who lives in this house? Is it just you or somebody else?
Looks like it's just me.
Okay. Now, do you have any family, friends, anybody around you, or do you live completely by yourself?
I feel like I live by myself.
How far the nearest other human being who do you interact with?
down the road, but a good enough distance where I can't see a house.
Okay. And tell me how you feel about your life right now. Are you enjoying it? Are you comfortable? Are you missing anything in your life?
It feels peaceful.
Good. You enjoy being by yourself?
I feel like I have like a dog.
To keep you company?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you wish you had anybody in your life? Like a partner?
I don't feel like that in that one.
Okay. Now, when you want to have some company and just interact with other people, is there a place where you can go and meet your neighbors?
I feel like I have to go to town.
How far is the town from you?
A really long walk.
Okay. How often do you go there?
I don't feel like I go there very often.
Was it the town that you went to for the corn seeds, or some other place further away?
Same town.
Same town. Okay. Good. And so, when you the corn that you grow, is that just to feed you, or do you sell it and live on that?
I eat most of it, and yet still share some.
Okay. And so do you have some money to buy other things that you need? Or do you just exchange corn for something?
I feel I would exchange.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you lived there? Did you come from a different place, or did you grow up there?
I feel like I moved there.
Do you know how long ago?
No.
And when you go to town, do you know the name of that town?
I do not.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is to allow those images to fade. And when I count to 3, you're going to move to the next important event in this lifetime. Next important event in that lifetime. 1, 2, almost there, and 3. You're at the next important event in that lifetime. So tell me what you see.
Still at the house.
Okay? And what's happening?
Nothing. I feel the routine is the same.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gotten older.
Okay. And about how old are you now?
I'm in my 60s.
Okay. And how are you feeling? Are you still healthy?
Feel that I am, yes.
Okay. Are you still content and peaceful?
Yes.
Okay. And you still live by yourself?
Yes.
Do you still have the same dog?
No.
Do you have another dog or any other animal, pet?
I do not.
Okay. And has the town grown since before?
I feel I haven't been there in a while. I feel like someone will bring me the things because the travel is too far for me.
Okay. And do you pay them to bring you things, or is it a friend?
I feel I pay them.
And so do you have a sense now of where you're located? Is there a name of this place? Perhaps a state?
I still do not have that.
Okay. Now I wonder if you can look around your house and find, and you may see things like maybe a newspaper or something that has a name and a date.
So I feel like I couldn't read.
Okay.
Because I explain everything that I need.
To the person who brings you things?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have any newspapers in the house?
No.
Okay. So I'd like you now to again allow those images to fade away, and on the count of 3 you're going to find yourself on the last day of that lifetime. The last day of that lifetime. 1, 2, 3. It's the last day of your lifetime, and tell me what you're seeing around yourself or sensing or feeling.
I'm laying in bed.
Okay. And are there any people around you?
No.
Okay.
It's colder.
Colder.
And I'm incredibly tired.
Are you older now?
I am, but I don't know by how much.
Okay. And why are you tired? Is it physical tiredness or just emotional?
It feels physical tiredness. I just want to go to sleep.
Okay. Now, do you know if you're ill or something happened to you? Did anything happen to you?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. Are you feeling weak?
Not necessarily, no. Just an overwhelming feeling of tiredness.
Okay. So I'm going to ask for you to just get information about that. And on the count of 3, this understanding of what caused you to be so tired will come to you. 1, 2, and 3. So what happened to make you feel so tired?
It feels like I was overworking for what I should have been doing. Almost like I should have been resting, but there were things that needed to be done.
Is it related to your farming, to the field?
That's the sense that I have, yes.
Mm-hmm. Was it because you were by yourself and you had to do it all on your own?
Yes.
Okay. And so, as you're nearing the end of your life, what is the main cause of your death?
I feel like overexertion, like coupled or due to my age.
And do you have a sense now of how old you are right now?
I feel like I'm in my 70s.
Okay. And does anything hurt, or are you just tired and want to go?
Nothing overly hurts.
And so what I'd like you to do is just allow yourself, your soul, to just gently pass out of your body and leave the physical body behind. There's going to be this sense of release and freedom and comfort. And now from the point of view of your soul, from this higher perspective, I want you to look at that lifetime and tell me, what was the plan, what was the purpose for that lifetime for you?
Almost to show that I could do it by myself.
You wanted to see if you could do it by yourself, or you wanted to demonstrate that you could?
I feel like demonstrate that I could.
And do you think that you were successful at that?
Yes.
Good. Are you satisfied with that lifetime?
Yes.
Any regrets?
No.
Good. Now, from that higher perspective, do you know what area you were in?
I was in an English-speaking country, but I'm not sure where.
Okay. So I would like you to allow now for that image to fade away, the memories of that lifetime to fade, and for that man to go on his own way to continue with his experience. And as you're drifting away, I'd like you to picture once again find you and just allow you to relax and snuggle in. To imagine, visualize, or pretend continue to drift laying very comfortably as it is floating, a fluffy, soft, comfortable cloud and floating. That is continuing to further and further away, taking you to the next forward or backwards in time destination. But it is moving once again. You're going to begin to drift and most appropriate. And gently, slowly float down into towards the earth. And when you towards the surface, reach down to the surface, just look around and the images will appear, or a sensation or an impression will appear, and just let me know what you see around you.
It's cold and foggy.
Mm-hmm.
And surrounded by buildings.
What do they look like?
Sturdy construction buildings, constructed buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's kind of dark.
Are the buildings tall?
Yes. A couple stories each. I feel like I was standing on that kind of cold, wet street. It looks like cobblestone.
Okay. Do you see any people around you?
There's quite a few people walking up and down the street.
Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is now look down at your feet and tell me what you see on your feet.
Tall leather boot again, but different than before.
Okay. What color is the boot?
They're black.
Are they elegant or are they simple?
They're not overly ornate, but they're also a little bit more than simple boots.
And does it feel like a male body or a female body that you have?
Feels like a male body.
A young or old?
I feel a little bit younger this one.
Okay, and healthy?
Yes.
Okay. Now when you're saying younger, about what age does it feel like?
Early 20s.
And now, can you tell me what you're wearing on your body?
I've got longer pants that are tucked into the boots.
Mm-hmm.
A shirt, long sleeves, and almost an overcoat.
Do you know why you're standing on that street?
No.
Now, did you say that it's dark outside?
It is.
Is it late at night?
I feel it's evening.
And when you're looking out at people, how are they dressed?
The women have dresses, some have bonnets, and the men have pants and boots and different styles of coats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that I'm alone though. There's a woman in a pink or slightly purple dress with a bonnet.
Okay. And who is she?
I don't know.
Okay. Are you going somewhere with her, or did you just meet her there?
I feel like I'm going somewhere with her.
Okay. Is she talking to you? You can hear her speak.
I can't understand what she's saying.
Okay. So I'm going to count to 3. On the count of 3, you will imagine that we're turning the knob that turns the volume up. Not only the volume, but the clarity. So as we turn the volume up, you will be able to hear her very clearly and distinctly. 1, turning into the right. 2, even higher. 3, so you can hear her clearly and distinctly right now. What was she saying to you all along?
Sounds like we're late.
Okay. And is she telling you to hurry up?
It's more like we should have left earlier.
Is she upset with you?
Not with me, but with the fact that we're late.
Okay. And what is your response? How do you feel about that?
More of an acknowledgement and agreement that we're late.
Okay. And do you know where you're heading?
No.
Okay. So how do you feel about this woman that you're with?
I feel like we live together. I don't know if we're married or not.
Okay. So I would like you now to just allow yourself to move in time to the point where you have arrived to wherever you were going. On the count of 3, you're going to see where you have arrived, and you'll tell me what you see. 1, 2, 3, you're there. Did you get there on time?
No.
And where are you?
It's a show. More like an opera.
Do you enjoy opera?
Yes.
Do you go often?
No. Okay, that's why she's upset that we're late.
Okay. And I imagine there are a lot of people around you.
Yes.
What is it like when you're sitting there? Do people talk quietly, or are they all focused on the opera?
Everyone's focused on the opera.
Okay. Is it the local theater that is there, or do they travel to bring the opera to you?
Doesn't feel like this is local. This feels like it was a treat.
So how big is your town?
Seems like it's very large.
Okay. And what are other forms of entertainment that the people in your circle enjoy?
I feel like gambling.
Do you have a gambling house in town?
Yes.
And do you go there often?
No.
Now what I'd like you to do now is to allow those images to fade, and on the count of 3 you're going to see yourself standing in front of the place where you live. So you will be in front of the place where you live. 1, 2, and 3. What do you see?
A large home. Stone fence with iron gates in front. Close to other homes.
I'd like you to walk through the gates and just walk inside and tell me what you see inside.
So it's more like an apartment when you get inside.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple units. We're not on the first floor, but we're not at the top.
Okay. So you go up the stairs to reach to where you live?
Yes.
And who do you live there with?
The woman.
And what is your relationship to her?
I feel like that's my wife.
Okay.
There's some toys in the apartment, but there's no child.
So I'd like you to just walk through the apartment, tell me what you see, and perhaps you'll find children there.
So you walk in the door, you enter one room, it's almost like a play area. Then you go to the dining room, which is attached to the kitchen, and there are 2 bedrooms in the back.
Are you and your wife sleeping in one bedroom, or you are in separate bedrooms?
We're in 1 bedroom.
Okay. And so is there a room for the children?
Yes.
And how many children do you have?
I see 2 beds, but only one of them looks like it's used.
Do you see your child around?
No.
Do you see your wife?
No.
So I'd like you to walk around the house and see if you can find a newspaper or anything that tells you the location or the date?
I don't see anything, but I feel the theater is in London.
And do you know approximately what year it is?
Do not.
Okay. So I'd like you to allow those images again to fade. And I want you to move to the next important date in this lifetime. Next important day in this lifetime on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. What is happening?
It's a wedding.
Whose wedding is it?
My child's wedding. But I can't tell for the bride or the groom.
Okay. And how old are you now?
I'm in my mid-40s.
Okay. And is your wife with you?
Yes.
And how are you feeling now on this wedding day?
We're happy.
Ask your wife where your child is, and she will point, and you will know who your child is, if it's the bride or the groom.
Just the bride.
And do you know who your daughter marrying?
No.
Can you tell me what you do to make a living?
I feel I work in finances. It's almost like a counting house.
Are you doing well financially?
Yes.
Good. And your wife does not work?
No.
Okay. Good. And how's your relationship with your wife right now?
You seem happy.
Good. So I'd like you now to move on the count of 3 to the last day of this lifetime. Last day of this lifetime on the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. You're there. What do you see around you?
I see my wife. She's worried. I'm laying down. I don't feel good.
Are you ill?
Yes.
Do you know what's wrong with you?
No. But it feels like it's not a surprise that I'm dying.
Is there anybody else there other than your wife?
No.
And are you much older now?
I feel like about 10 years have passed.
Okay. Are you in your 50s?
Yes.
Okay. And is your wife much younger than you, or about the same?
I feel like she's a little younger than I am.
Okay. And so what's happening? Has the doctor been called for?
I feel that it's past that time already. That he had already let us know. And now the concern has shifted to her well-being after I'm gone.
Okay. Is there anything that you tell her?
I feel like we planned for this.
So was this a long illness?
It doesn't feel like that, but it gave us enough time to set something up. But she's still worried.
And what about you? How are you feeling now, knowing that you're leaving her?
I'm worried for her.
And so I would like you now to allow your spirit to just gently drift out of the body and just hover above, feeling this sense of well-being and release and peacefulness. And as you begin to shed the weight of this, the illness and of the physical existence, just look back at this body and look back at this lifetime. And from a higher perspective, tell me, what was the focus of this lifetime? What was the purpose of this experience?
I needed to make sure the ones that I loved were taken care of.
And do you feel that you were successful in that experience?
I can't tell because I don't know how my wife did after I was gone.
Alright, so let's move you a little bit into the future, and just so that you can see, and on a quantum level you can experience all of the time at the same time. And so on the count of 3 you will just have a knowing of how she has done. So 1, 2, and 3. What do you know about her experience now after your passing?
Looks like she went and lived with her daughter and was able to help raise their kids.
Was that the plan that you had for her?
That was something that we had talked about if she wanted to do. She seems happy. I was more concerned that she would be financially set.
And was she?
It seems like it, yes.
Good. So how do you feel about that lifetime? Were you able to accomplish what you set out to accomplish?
Yes.
Very good. So I'd like you now to allow that experience to fade away.
Place.
And just begin to drift and float the answers to the questions that you have today. Another appropriate time and place. Into another time and another place, perhaps moving forward or and simply drifting and floating. We're going to go again. It will help you understand. Reach the surface. Get answers to the questions that you have prepared today at another appropriate time and place. And I'm going to ask you to begin to just drift closer and closer. And on the count of 3, you're going to. And tell me what you see.
Snow, some woods, lots of noise.
What kind of noise?
Almost like explosions.
Okay.
My feet are cold. I've got them wrapped, but they're still cold.
Look at them. What are they wrapped in?
Extra paper, cloth. I can feel them in a boot, but I can't see the boot.
And does it feel like a male or a female body?
Like a male body.
Okay. Young or old?
Young.
And healthy or not?
Yes.
Okay. And how young are you?
I feel like I'm 19.
And so what do you see around you? Or is there fighting of some sort?
Yes, but it seems like it's farther ahead in front of me.
Okay. Are you standing there by yourself?
No, there's others around.
And what are you doing?
Seeking cover.
Why is that? From the explosions?
Yes.
Is there something that you should be doing?
I feel like we're digging.
What are you digging?
The hole for cover.
Are you digging with other people?
Yes.
And how do you feel right now?
We're all scared, yet have a sense of purpose. Like we have to get the holes dug. Almost like there's no time to let the fear bother you.
Okay. Are you at war?
That's the way that it feels.
Okay. And which war is it? Who are you fighting?
I'm not sure. I can see everyone has a gun.
Are you wearing a uniform?
I am.
What does it look like?
Green. Like I've had it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
With like elements of green.
Okay. And what is your position in the army? What is your rank?
I feel it's just an enlisted soldier of no consequence right now.
How did you end up there? Did you want to be there?
I feel I volunteered, yes.
Why did you volunteer?
Felt like the right thing to do.
What are you fighting for?
Feels like I'm fighting for others who can't fight for themselves.
And so do you know who you're fighting along with?
Feels like it might be the U.S. Army.
Okay. Do you know where you are now as you're digging?
Somewhere cold. I've never felt this cold.
You don't think you're appropriately dressed for this cold?
I thought I was. But it's just cutting through my clothes.
So I'd like you now to imagine that you're standing now in front of the place where you sleep at night, in front of a place where you can rest. Tell me what you see.
So I see two different places.
Okay.
The first one is where we were digging. I see myself sleeping in the hole.
Okay.
And the second is a city that looks like it was done bombed out.
Well, let's go back to the hole. How much time do you spend there?
It's like most of my day, but it feels like it's only been a short time that I've had to be there.
All right. So let's go to the place where you see in the city. Is it a place where you used to live?
No. I feel it was after we had dug. That was where we were trying to get to.
Okay. And does that look like a city that you have
I feel we've
freed?
just taken it. Yes.
You've taken it. Okay. And I want you to look around and see how people, do you see any residents there, the locals? How are they reacting to you?
There's not many people there that are not military.
Okay.
But there are at least people out walking on the street.
Okay.
Where we are now sleeping looks like it used to be a church.
And how long do you have to just rest?
I feel like we have a day.
And what's coming up after that?
We're marching.
Okay. See yourself standing on the street and just looking around. And perhaps you'll see storefronts or street names or things that are printed. And I wonder if you can see what language they're printed in, or perhaps what they say.
So I see one street sign, and I heard one person speak inside the church, and it was both French.
Okay. And on the count of 3, you're going to move to the next important day in that lifetime. Next important day in that lifetime. 1, 2, and 3. You're there. Just tell me what you see.
We've been walking close to another city. There's farm fields on the outside of the city. They've got small stone walls built. Looks like the farmers would have built them. I think looks fairly pretty or picturesque, given all the things that are going on.
Okay.
It's not as cold anymore, but still a little cold.
Is there something that's about to happen or just happened?
I feel that we're walking into trouble, but don't know it.
Okay. So just allow the time to shift forward, and you're going to and exactly into whatever you're walking into that you didn't expect. So just see yourself there and tell me what's happening around you.
So we're almost to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up on the last stone wall, and there's enemy troops behind it, and they ambush us.
And where are you when that happens? Are you close to them, further away?
I feel about middle of our pack.
And what happens then?
We start returning fire and breaking across the road that we were walking on, some to the left, some to the right, trying to bring anyone wounded with us behind cover.
How are you managing?
Not well. It sounds like there's a machine gun that we don't have.
What's going through your mind right now?
How are we going to get everyone else out of here?
And what do you do then?
I feel that we've been able to get enough to the sides to try and get a high ground view and try and take a shot at the man running the machine gun, because that has everyone pinned down as their other troops are starting to advance.
And who will take that person out?
I feel like I asked somebody to cover me so I can try and get in a tree. But I feel like I have a problem with my left shoulder. It doesn't feel like I was shot, but there's something that happened. There's some pain there. But it doesn't affect me because I shoot right-handed.
Okay. Are you able to take him out?
So he's better covered than I anticipated when I can look down. But I feel like I'm able to draw his fire and allow somebody to get a grenade in there.
Okay. Is that what you do?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, we take out the machine gun, and that allows for more of our men to fall back and get reinforcements. Almost feel also at that point then we get a tank that comes up for support so that we can break through. But I'm not with them.
Where are you?
Never made it out of that tree.
What happened?
Shot by a machine gun.
Are you still alive?
I don't think so, because nothing hurts. But I feel like I can hear our guys coming back through.
And do they see you there?
No.
Do they know that you're there?
I feel eventually, because we had a lot of people that we lost right there in that area along that line.
And allow yourself to just check in if this is the last day of your lifetime. And if not, move to the last day.
I don't feel I saw another day.
Okay. So I want you to just observe what's happening. And as you observe peacefully and see your body laying there, I want you to, from a higher perspective, to tell me what was the purpose of that lifetime for you.
Selflessness. I wanted to be able to help others. Because I feel if I wanted to, at that tree line, I could have escaped myself. But I knew that would have been wrong.
Why is that?
Because I feel that the odds of me getting the message back about the problem we encountered was less than if I could get the rest of our men back to relay the message and get reinforcements and take the next town.
So do you feel you accomplished your mission?
I feel I accomplished it.
Very good. So you feel good about that lifetime and that particular day also?
Yeah.
Good. So allow all of these images to float away and fade away. And I want you to just allow all of those memories and all of the people that you have just encountered to go on their way and continue their own journey. They will find peace. They will find what they're supposed to find. And we're going to leave them there to continue on their path. And I want all of the consciousness and personality of Joe to once again return to your body and fully integrate back into your body. And I'm going to ask you, with your higher consciousness, if I may speak to your higher consciousness.
Yes.
So I respect the power of the higher consciousness because I know that the higher consciousness takes care of Joe's body and does a very good job of it. I also know that the higher consciousness has the records of everything that has ever happened to Joe in this lifetime or any other lifetimes that he has ever experienced. So I respect the power of the higher consciousness, and I always ask for permission to speak to it and to ask questions. Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes.
Thank you. The higher consciousness could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Joe to look at and examine today. And you chose to bring 3 of the farmer, the gentleman in London with a wife and children, and then the soldier. So can you tell us why you picked those particular lifetimes for him to look at and examine?
Those themes need to be continued.
Okay. And let's identify the themes again. The first theme as a farmer was...
Well, that theme was to demonstrate strength, that you could do what you needed to do.
And the London lifetime.
It's to plan for the future.
And the soldier.
Use the best course of action to accomplish a goal.
Okay, and you also mentioned selflessness. Is that part of that as well?
Yes. In that instance, that was what needed to be done to accomplish the goal.
Okay, so that was the best course of action.
Yes.
Okay. Good. And what is the importance of those themes in Joe's life today? How are those themes woven into his experience today?
It's about protecting your family.
In what way?
Making sure no matter what happens, they'll be alright.
Is that the overall purpose of this lifetime for him?
Adjusting my family.
So was it focusing on the family?
Yes.
So let me just again ask the higher self to come to the forefront and allow Joe's conscious mind to just drift away and observe what's happening from the sideline. It will be fully conscious of what's going on, but at the same time it will rest and be comfortable and allow the higher understanding, higher consciousness to come forward. So as that's happening, let me ask you, how is Joe doing with his life purpose so far?
Seems he could be more helpful.
In what way?
Taking on more responsibility.
What type of responsibility?
More responsibility with immediate family.
What should he do differently?
Reprioritize.
What priorities should he focus on? And just allow the first thought to come into your mind and just speak it.
Helping out more with responsibilities around the house. Setting appointments.
And would that be part of protecting his family? That go towards that?
Yes.
Okay. Is he able to do that? Is that also going towards best course of action to accomplishing goals?
Seems conflicted.
What is the conflict about?
I have to do so much with work, and that being the steady income, it's tougher to make appointments and pull yourself away from work.
Right. So what I'd like you to do is take him to a higher perspective, as though you're lifting him from the surface of the earth, and he can rise up as though he's rising above the city, and so he can see much further, and he has a much wider view. And I want you to take him to that place where he can see a much bigger perspective, what's happening in this lifetime with his family, that includes his purpose, his role, and what he has planned for himself to accomplish, and the role of what he is doing and its impact on his plans. Now, one of the themes that you told me that he needs to continue is finding the best course of action for accomplishing goals and planning for the future. So please help him see what that best course of action is. And tell me what he's seeing now.
Balance.
In what way?
Communicating to be able to take on more.
Is that a balance of what he does at home and at work?
Yes.
And how does that impact his life and his purpose?
It allows him to not put over evaluation on one or the other. It allows both to be successful.
Is that what he wants to achieve? Is that important for him to have that balance and to feel successful at both?
Feels like more wants his family to be happy, but one can't come without the other.
Okay. So creating that balance is important.
Yes.
Okay. Does he have a clear sort of vision in his mind now of how that could be achieved, the steps he needs to take?
Yes.
And communication is a big part of that.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. So I want to ask some questions that Joe brought in. So one of the thoughts that he's had since childhood is that he is destined for great things. But he's had this fear of failure, fear of disappointing others or messing up. Where is that coming from?
I don't know.
Okay, well, the higher self has the answers to that. So I want Joe to just step aside, the conscious mind to just step aside and relax. And sit on the sideline and observe as miraculous things happen. And we're going to call to the higher self again, to come in firmly into the forefront. And on the count of 3, it will have the answers to the questions that Joe has. The answers will simply float into Joe's mind. They will present themselves in a way that is the most appropriate and the easiest for him to receive, and he will speak them as soon as he receives them. So looking back at his past experiences, why does Joe sometimes feel this fear of disappointing others or messing up?
I sense disappointment, like I've let people down.
Okay, and where is that coming from?
Something before. It's more than just disappointment, it's almost like anguish.
Mm-hmm. And just allow your higher self to just guide you and take you there. Now, as I count back from 10 down to 1, it will slowly come into focus and become apparent, and you will clearly see the cause of that. So 10, just moving closer, 9, 8, 7, just coming near it, 6, 5, it will become clear, 4, 3, 2, and on the count of 1, it will reveal itself. And just speak the first thing that you see or know.
I'm drawn back to the farming experience.
Okay.
I feel like that is why I was alone. It almost feels like I couldn't protect someone.
And who was it that you were trying to protect?
I feel like it was a wife.
What happened to her?
She died.
What happened?
I feel like it was a sickness. It wasn't where I was. I feel like that was why I secluded myself. I made myself have to take that long walk. It was almost as a penance because I couldn't save her.
Do you feel that you could have saved her?
I do.
What could you have done?
I don't know.
What did she die from?
She died from an illness. I feel like either I should have been able to help with it, or I just missed it.
And so you held yourself responsible for it?
Yes.
Okay, now I want to move back to your higher soul perspective. I want you really to pull up to your higher soul perspective and just feel yourself going to an expanded expanded, broader perspective, broader view, from the soul perspective, higher consciousness. Was he, as a farmer, responsible for his wife's passing?
Yes.
So he did miss something that he could have done?
Yes.
Was it something that he could have done to prevent it, or to do something to protect her once it happened, once she became ill?
Once it happened.
What did he not do?
Downplayed the significance of the illness. Thought it would fix itself.
And so what is the lesson from that? What does he take away into this lifetime today? Is that something that he can let go of, or is it something that he can learn from and take that lesson with him?
Yes.
What should he take away from it?
Don't be so dismissive of others' complaints.
And now if he pays attention to what other people tell him and takes those things seriously, that fear of disappointing people, fear of failure, is it time for him to let go of it and simply focus on other people?
I don't feel like he's ready to.
And what is holding him back?
Makes the same mistakes.
Is the fear helping him in this life experience? Or is it holding him back?
But it's helping him.
So is that a healthy fear to have?
If he listens to it.
Let's turn it into something that's positive, that's helpful to him. What should he take away from this fear of disappointing others? Should it be listening to others, understanding their concerns, understanding their needs? What is a positive and helpful way of framing this lesson?
Understanding and valuing others' inputs.
Okay. And if he does that, then can he move forward with accomplishing all the great things that he's destined to accomplish?
Yes.
Does this fear need to hold him back in any way?
No.
So can we right now help him let go of the fear and simply convert it, reframe it into an ability to focus on and acknowledge concerns of others?
No. It would take more work because he still has a lot of hubris that he's right.
Okay. So is there a greater lesson in this for his lifetime, for this lifetime?
Don't be afraid to fail.
So it's okay for him to fail.
Yes, he can be wrong.
Is that the lesson that he took out of the lifetime as a farmer? It seems that after the death of his wife, he didn't want to be with anybody else.
No, that wasn't the lesson he took.
Was that supposed to be the lesson, that it's okay to go through that experience and still reconnect with others?
Yes.
Okay. Is the focus for this lifetime then that he should go for the great things even if he fails?
Yes.
Does he feel now comfortable with that message? Or is there still fear?
It's not fear now. It seems more stubbornness that he still thinks that he's right most of the time.
Okay. And that can sometimes knock him down, can't it?
Yes.
Okay. But it's okay, he knows now that it's okay to experience that and still get up and move forward.
Yes.
And it's also important for him to listen to other people's concerns and acknowledge them.
Yes.
Okay, very good. One of the other questions Joe had was about his tendency to always do sort of a risk assessment of every situation, find an escape route out of every situation. Is that related to the lifetime as a soldier, to the experience as a soldier, or is that coming from somewhere else?
It's come from all three scenarios.
In what way is it related to his life in London?
Having the escape route for what they would do when he was gone, making sure that they were going to be all right without him.
Okay, I understand. And so how does it impact his life now? Does it inform him, or does it create a fear that he doesn't need?
It informs him.
Okay. So he can use it as perhaps a skill that he developed?
Yes.
Okay, and feel good about it and move forward and not worry about it.
Yes.
Very good, thank you. Now, he also was wondering if there was a military experience in the past, and he just had this, obviously, the experience of a soldier. Was there any other military experience that he had or that he needs to know about right now?
That's the most recent.
Were there others that he needs to know about?
There were others, but none like that.
Okay. Now, interestingly enough, Joe is concerned that things are actually coming easily to him, or some things that come easy, like learning, or he's had the good fortune of having good health, and he almost feels that it's unfair in some ways. Can you address that and talk to him about why he had those, perhaps his kind of plan for this lifetime, and how he should view those things that he finds that maybe are sort of to his advantage and to other people's disadvantage?
It's more of an ebb and flow. So there's always been bad and there's always been good. But it's what you choose to do with the bad. There's been bad times, just as good. But the choice has not been to let the bad times dictate the rest of the life.
So can he relax about it not being fair?
He should.
Okay. So now I want to ask about Joe's friends. He has always found that he is much more comfortable with older people as friends, and he was wondering why that was.
He maintains a work ethic that is of an older time, where it needs to get done, you should do it. He doesn't always display that work ethic, but that's what he believes.
From a different time period?
Yes.
Did he gain that work ethic in any of the lifetimes that you brought to him today?
He demonstrated it in all three.
Okay.
But I feel it was around before them.
That he initially developed it?
Yes.
Is he an old soul that's had many lifetimes?
Yes.
Joe has a tendency to compartmentalize his friends into groups or people that he associates with, so that he doesn't sort of intermingle the people from different groups that he interacts with. He wants to understand the reason for that. Can you give him a perspective on why he does that?
It's to hide that sense of disappointing and failure. He won't disappoint everyone, only certain people. So
if he disappoints, he doesn't want everybody to be affected, just a small group?
Yes.
Okay. Now it seems like that sense of disappointment is really strong. Was that lifetime as a farmer the kind of the initial point for that, to develop that sense? Or were there others that contributed to it?
There were others.
Would it be beneficial for his development to just allow that fear of disappointing to be let go and released, and transmuted instead into concern for others and respect for other people's opinions and respect for their needs?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is I'm going to touch Joe's forehead, and as I do that, I want you to just allow that stream of consciousness in that sense to just flow through him. Go to the depth of his being right now and just release. Release that built up fear of failure, fear of disappointment that has been accumulating over lifetimes, accumulating in his psyche, in his Akashic records. Just allow for that to be released right now. See the stream of energy, the stream of this built up negative energy just being released into the light and transmuted into something much more beautiful, much more productive. As the fear of disappointment, the fear that can hold him back, is transmuted instead into responsible, careful consideration of other people's needs and concerns, respect for their needs and concerns. That is no longer a fear that holds him back, but instead an energy that propels him to serve others, and propels him to act and accomplish what he wants to accomplish. And just feel that empowering energy, that supporting energy, that feels so different from the fear that can hold someone back, instead to like a warm wind that just supports and propels you forward. Now, does he feel that stagnant energy of fear released?
Yes.
And is it replaced instead with that feeling, this mature feeling of concern and respect?
Yes.
Very good. Now, as that shifts, I'd like you to reflect again on this separation that he has with different groups of people. Would that allow him now to have more of an integration with the people that he is interacting in his life?
Yes.
Very good. And now I would like to just ask one more question. I'm wondering if the people in his immediate family right now, his wife and his 3 children, if you can help him get a sense of when they have been together before. So his wife right now, were they together in any of the 3 lifetimes he mentioned?
No.
Was there another lifetime in which they were together?
No.
How about his children?
Yes.
Which of the children? When were they together?
He was a soldier with him.
Were they just fellow soldiers, friends?
Mm-hmm.
And why did they choose to come back now together?
They created a bond when they were together.
Is there something that Joe can give his son now that would be helpful?
Security.
Okay. Is there anybody else from those 3 lifetimes that is in his life right now?
No.
Okay. Very good. So I'd like you now to do a body scan, starting at the top of his head and just moving down through the body, down through the legs and feet. And just see if there is anything that is out of balance or that needs attention, and just let me know what it is.
There's nothing.
Very good. So thank you very much for the answers that you provided. I would like to ask now the higher consciousness of Joe to just recede to where it belongs, with much love and thanks for the help and information that it has been giving us today.